Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to my weekly update. It feels like a bit of a whirlwind trip around the country this week. I was absolutely thrilled to be up on the North York Moors on Monday, visiting businesses up there and hearing all about the Farming in Protected Landscapes funding project, which has been, I think, a great success story for farmers up there. And I'd urge anybody else who has the opportunity to get involved with that scheme to get involved. It really does show that, as with everywhere else in the country, farming is underpinning many rural economies, and it was great to see those businesses, to see the different things that are happening. I actually got to see my first meat vending machine. So we've all heard of the milk ones. This was a meat vending machine and doing a brilliant job, I have to say. But I wasn't there for that long before I had to head back south and go to East Anglia for various meetings, opening an NFU mutual office, fantastic office in Cambridge, followed by a visit to Niab Tag, and caught up with so many members in that part of the world, which was really, really welcome. And finishing off in East Anglia with opening a wonderful farm shop, which has been effectively sitting in my diary for nearly 3 years. So actually opened during the COVID period and was due to open before that. So wonderful to get to Moor Farm at long last, and a huge reception and all their suppliers. Really was a great event. And then it's been in London ever since, effectively. And of course, everything has changed. A new government, Rishi Sunak now as Prime Minister. You'll remember that he came to our hustings at headquarters in Stoneleigh Park in August, and he made some very strong commitments that I shall be very much hoping that he sticks to. So he said, as a Prime Minister, he would be looking to chair an annual food security summit on domestic food production. He will be looking to put in a legal framework to make sure we maintain and grow where we can our levels of self-sufficiency, and also wanting to see 50% of locally produced food in government procurement and buying standards. So fantastic commitments. We now need to turn it into policy action. And of course, we've said goodbye to Ranil Jawadna and hello to Therese Coffey as Secretary of State in DEFRA. I'm delighted to see that Mark Spencer has been reappointed as Farming Minister of State. I don't know yet who the other ministerial appointments will be, but apparently this is taking time because the Prime Minister is insisting on seeing everybody personally. But also today, I've been really pleased that actually we have been able to convene our whole industry emergency summit with DEFRA ministers looking at the horrendous and growing situation with avian influenza across the country. There's a real hotbed of this disease in East Anglia, and I have to say it was very much needed to bring everybody together today alongside the CVO and the Chief Exec of AFA, plus Director of Health, Anna Benham-Hughes, and many others. Real concerns about the compensation package. Poultry has been a huge success story. The industry has massively grown in the free range side of things. 60% now is free range, and that has been what the market has demanded. And for this unsupported sector, it very rarely ever asks for help. But if we are to retain it and see it maintained at the same size, which it needs to be, because there is a clear demand and indeed a growing demand for British poultry meat and eggs, then government needs to act. So compensation was probably the number one item that was discussed. We've got to see a compensation package that is fit for purpose. Ultimately, the time between diagnosis and AFA coming out onto farm is too great. We need to make sure that that gap is really narrowed down so the compensation package does stack up. And, you know, the message to government had to be, this is about a really serious food security problem. The whole situation is now globalised, and we need to act, and we need to come together to make sure that we have a vaccine that is fit for purpose, that is going to do the job that is needed, and that is ultimately globally recognised. So I'll keep you updated. Any members that have any concerns, please go to our Call First service approach your regional office, NFU online. There is help at hand, and we of course through all our ways of communicating will be looking to get those messages to you. So a lot happening, and a lot more happening next week too, including Back British Farming Day, which of course was put back with a national period of mourning and is happening on Wednesday. And we'll also be celebrating our farming champions who will have been nominated by their MPs for the great job that they will have done for the community. So it's an opportunity to celebrate our industry, to encourage all MPs, members of the shadow team and the government to wear the wheat sheaf pin badges, and as the Prime Minister said yesterday, to continue backing British farming, which he pledged to do. So now I want to see this turned into policy action. Never has our industry needed certainty and commitment, and I guess a will to work in partnership with all of us more than it does now. So look forward to speaking to you next week. Please do, wherever you are. Take care. Many thanks.